business because you only have a limited amount of time, and if you talk things outside of county business, we can't help you with those anyway. So please.
Well, we hope it's county business outside of these votes. I'll tell you what, we, the citizens, I know us here, and many people we represent, really respect the integrity and the dignity and the leadership of planning and zoning that you appointed. They come up here and deny something based on the facts, the code, the zoning, and then there's talks about everything else after that, about some wishy-washy whatever. So you don't know the pulse of the community? You didn't hear the pulse? Calls, even now? No, I'm not having a conversation. I'm not having a conversation. This is public comment. Public comment.
I've had numerous calls.
This is my time. I got 5 minutes, sir. This is my time. 5 minutes.
Help yourself, sir.
Okay.
Help yourself.
Okay.
I don't want to interrupt you. Help yourself.
Well, you did. So.
Good. Help yourself.
Yes. As we discussed before, is there an advantage to have a liquor store in residential and ag districts versus the appropriate C1 zoning? If not, that's a concern. Why ask you it in here? We wait on his vote for this one that just the only thing that is keeping it from being built is being zoned, okay? The only thing that one could conclude, if there's discussion outside of not meeting zoning, it's relationships. Are y'all gonna stick to your districts that you've defined inside Hawthorne? I wanna know that. You can't answer that. Are you gonna abide by that?
Go ahead. I don't interrupt. Go ahead.
That's the attitude we need. I asked a question then. I didn't ask to get interrupted.
I didn't interrupt you, sir. Go ahead.
Mr. Whitfield, Chairman, do you plan to stick to your district zoning? As y'all defined 18 months ago to prohibit C1 in these residential and CN areas.
Our comprehensive plan is very important to me because there's been a lot of thought put into that plan, and it's been updated every 5 years for multiple years. And so I very much take great reference to that comprehensive plan that you've referenced. But there can always be exceptions to things like this.
Prohibited has exceptions.
But I'm just saying the comprehensive plan in general, because you're asking about zoning in general.
No, I'm not asking about what you prohibited. I've talked about what you prohibited specifically, not in general. In general, if we say, okay, well, anything can go if we choose as it was presented before, except for maybe liquor stores. No, it was, okay. And then the fact, if there's no advantage of the county and our citizens to have it in residential and ag areas, except for disadvantages, then what's the benefit or approval process of somebody down there wanting it other than maybe relationships? And that's politics. That's not what we citizens want. Now, I'll tell you what, the formal leadership by your planning and zoning is the kind of board members we need in this area, and that will be discussed on re-elections if I don't see, and we don't see, appropriate leadership that stands behind what they say. And quit coming up with excuses about parking this, that, and the other. The whole thing was discussed that didn't even include the big principle of the topic of appropriate zoning. And then you prove a C1 zoning without even deciding what's going to be there. It may not be a liquor store. It could be a porn store. It could be a whatever. How is it that something that significant could go to C1 and not even bring a plat of what you're going to build? And you don't know the pulse of the community. You don't know the pulse of the people with the kids, the attraction, the crime, the stuff that goes with it. And you got plenty of places to build opportunity at vacant buildings in the appropriate multi-use commercial areas. That's what I ask. Are y'all gonna stick to it or not? Are you gonna make a commitment to stick what you've already said publicly on TV and then live on TV? Are you gonna stick to what you approved 18 months ago? Or some relationship gonna cause y'all to deviate from that? That's the question. Because I dare and tell you, if this continues like this, we'll have a whole nother board of commissioners, I assure you.
What relationship are you referring to, Mr. Holden?
I don't have to tell you everything I know, because I guarantee you I don't know everything y'all know.
Well, no, but you brought it up.
I know.
So
no, I said one can only conclude that there was relations if you're considering putting something in an ag or residential area versus up the road where you've already approved to put those, where there's plenty of places to put them, like this lady that was back here. You're sitting there discussing 30 feet, a lot more than you talk about putting a liquor store in residential and ag areas. That sounds real good.
You know, it's our job to discuss when our planning director comes up. It's our job to discuss, be informed, be
Okay,
educated.
approve because it didn't meet your pre-approved zoning, okay? Okay, how much further discussion does there have to be? Unless y'all have some vote to say, okay, we're gonna allow C1 in ag areas and residential areas.
Time
See it? Good, you owe me about 30, 45 seconds, sir.
And you did receive that.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Okay, anyone else like to speak? Please come up. Please state your name.